Hi again, and welcome to the fourth video in our series of 7 for people starting in the crypto industry. Okay, so in this video we're going to have a look at getting started trading. So I know that's probably where everyone wants to or wanted to start, but the previous videos you'll find are kind of important for the bigger picture. So just a quick thing on the side, by the way, I've had a few comments about the quality of sound. We've had to change software so that we can render out the videos for Patreon, and it's different from our normal file. So it seems to be just on the rendered files. It's whenever I bring across the video here, it seems to be fine, and the microphone seems to be working. So I'm going to have a look at this later and fix the problem as soon as possible. I have a couple of different mics I can change, and also settings that I can adjust. So I'll have that sorted. Okay, so trading. There are hundreds of different platforms to use. The smaller decentralized exchanges, which I maybe I've covered before when I was talking about Uniswap, they can sometimes offer you access to more coins, but can often lack liquidity or, to be honest, sophistication. You know, they're very, very basic operational peer-to-peer coin exchanges. You know, and also they lack a diversity of product. It is what it is. You log in, you exchange a coin for something else, and you come out again. Now all of them are developing. Every month they're moving on, adding new services and getting better and better. But that's how I find most of them. So some of the larger the centralized exchanges can provide you with excellent interface, range of services, coupled with good liquidity, but they're sometimes lacking in the variety of coins available. This is what I find, especially with newer ones or lower cap tokens. So I do find it quite frustrating sometimes with some of them that, you know, you maybe read about a certain altcoin that's doing really well, and then you go in and it's not on it. Okay, so Coinbase, for example, only added Cardano a couple of months ago, and Cardano is whatever number 4th, is it? Largest cryptocurrency. So that's, you know, you get strange anomalies. I don't know what the politics were behind it, but you do get strange anomalies like that. So, and I know Binance Coin BNB has been very slow to get onto other exchanges as well. Again, probably for more political reasons. So, in my humble opinion, I find Binance is a good option to get going. Okay, it's everything that you need. All right, and includes all or certainly most of the coins that you'll be wanting to trade in the beginning. Sometimes actually it doesn't have very new ones or really low market cap, but in some bizarre way I find that quite a good discipline, because, you know, Binance does have lots, you know, and even some of the more obscure ones sometimes, and I kind of think, well, if it's not on Binance, you know, is it maybe just a little bit early? No, that doesn't always play out, because sometimes where the real money is made in a coin is the first 500% or 1,000% before it even reaches the major exchange. So that doesn't always play out, but I find Binance, if there was something that has a balance between them all, I think Binance is good enough. That for what you need now, it'll certainly give you every coin that you'll need. And also gives you all the extra sophistication and extra services. Okay, so on the other side of the coin, say Binance probably has too many services and trading options to begin with, but on balance, I think it's the best. Okay, so and the way I look is, if you can get used to it, then you'll eventually grow into the majority of the other services, and therefore you won't have to learn a new platform, you know, when you want to move forward, when you want to progress. Okay, there's also a Binance US version. I was hoping to get onto that, but I can't actually get on. I'm guessing it's because of my location. But I may actually, I may just have a little technique that I can pop out as a US DNS, maybe see if I can get into it. But for now, I'll assume that it's similar to the main Binance site. Okay, in terms of its functionality. I guess I also assume that some versions will not include derivatives or margin trading, because I know that's illegal in certain jurisdictions. Okay, so I won't be covering those anyway in too much detail. That'll be for another day. So I have a few trading accounts with Binance and 3 or 4 other exchanges. So we can just look at other options down the line. Okay, so we'll jump in and we'll deal with some real life crypto trading. I'm actually do it using my live account, where possible anyway. Okay, so hopefully there's a link below. I'm not sure whether you're watching this on Patreon or YouTube, but hopefully underneath there should be a link to open the account with Binance. So there's up to a 20% discount on fees if you use that link. It's a referral program basically, and so you get up to 20% discount on the fees, which is a lot. It doesn't cost you anything, so it's really worthwhile doing it. And just click the link in the message. Also, if there isn't a link in the message, I'm not sure what platform you're watching it on, I'll try and put it on the slide as well. So it's 20%, but every little helps. All right. Well, listen. We'll shoot over now onto the live account, and I'll catch up with you later. All right. Take care.
Hi. Yeah. Welcome back. I'm just in the live systems now, so I'm going to just talk you through how to set up your registration with Binance. Okay, so when you originally go through either the link or just go on to binance.com/en or just type in Binance, it'll take you to this one anyway. Okay, so where it says buy now, unfortunately because I've logged in, it's realised I'm logged in. So that a minute ago said join now. Okay, so when you go into it, it'll say join. It'll take you into here to create a free account, which is your email and password. What I would seriously recommend, okay, is that you use the dual authentication with this. There are certain things I don't use it on, but there are things that you have to use it on. I always use it with anything to do with my bank, and I use it with anything to do with an exchange. So essentially, you've got your mobile and your email. Okay. Well, actually, you log in first of all with your email, and then you can do you only need email at this stage, and then later on you can put the mobile in as dual authentication, or it prompts you to do it anyway. Okay, so every time I go to log in, doesn't matter whether it's on my phone, on the app, or whether it's on my laptop, it sends a message to your mobile. You have to put it in. So, okay, so email and password, that's all you need at this stage. Referral ID, I think I put it on the slide, but I think if you click the link, it takes you here anyway, and that gets you, I think it's about 20% off their fees. Doesn't cost you any more, so you might as well. And that's it, create account. Okay, so I won't spend any more time on it than that, because each area has a different section as to what you have to create or not create. Okay, so just see. Yeah. So depending on what part of the world you're in, it may ask you to provide certain information. But no matter what, it's going to be name and address. Sometimes it asks you for an ID, copy of an ID. So I mean, remember one thing. I mean, Binance is the largest crypto exchange. So it's as safe as anything is anyway. And I wouldn't worry too much about having to put in your information, because you have to put it in no matter what exchange you go on. You're still going to put your payment card details in or do a transfer. Okay, so the first section then you'll be into here. All right. So what I've done now is I've clicked buy crypto. Okay. So that's us buying into the exchange basically. So it gives us a couple of choices with that. So if you look on the screen there at the moment, you'll see it says select currency and payment method. So the currency we can select as British pounds, GBP, or US dollars, or euros, or whatever floats your boat. And then pay with, okay, and it gives you two choices here. For some reason, it recommends that one. But anyway, so the bottom line, there's only the two that are on there. Okay, a lot of this depends on where you actually are, where you're, what the home currency is. You do have different options sometimes with different currencies, but there's two options, which is essentially a bank card. So it's either debit card, Visa, MasterCard, whatever card you've got. The disadvantage is it's a 1.8% fee. Okay, faster payments is something you do with your bank. Okay, so when you click on faster payments, it shows you their bank details that you then use to transfer the money. Very, very important, but it gives you a reference number, so you must put that reference number in when you make the transfer. Otherwise, it's going to take you a long time to get it allocated to your account. Okay, so those are the two options. I've used both, and I'm a bit lazy sometimes, and I've used the bank card, especially if I want to get into something quickly. Because the bank card, the money's there instantly, whereas with the faster payments, which is like a BACS payment, it can take time to get across to their account. All right, one's free and one's 1.8%, so you can decide for yourself. Okay, so once you click on that, you enter your credit card details, which I'm not going to do here, and that will just put, maybe say £100, whatever it is, into your account here in Binance. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to trade. Now, when I click on trade here, all of these things we're going to deal in a lot of detail. But first of all, we're going to use the simplest way, which is convert, the top one. Okay, so basically what it says is that you want to convert from one thing to another. Now, this can be trading so simple. So say you've got £1,000 and you want to buy £1,000 worth of Bitcoin. That's it. You just do it here and convert, and you don't need to go anywhere near the exchange. So you've brought money in and buy crypto. You've brought it in, and then you're going to convert it from. So say for instance we had I don't have any GBP, but if I put GBP and I want to convert it, as I don't have any, but I can put in 1,000 GBP, which I've just and I want to convert it to Bitcoin. Press enter. And that's it. Gives you a couple of seconds to change your mind. And then boom, done. That's it. And for that, you haven't had to go anywhere near any charts or exchanges or order books or anything like that. So if all you're doing is bringing over money and buying Bitcoin with it, this is the way to do it. And that's it. You're all done. Okay. So the other option is that life isn't that simple, and you probably want to bring money over to buy different things and to trade and to buy and sell. Maybe not. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just they've got a bit of money, they want to bring it over, buy Bitcoin with it, and that's it. So that's it done, or Ethereum or Cardano, whatever it is you're buying. Now, if you want to convert it to a currency that allows you to buy everything, okay, then you use here. Now, the reason I'm telling you is that this will become very obvious with British pound, okay, so yes, it's a big currency, whatever else, but with coin exchanges, you cannot buy very much with what are called fiat currencies, the pounds and dollars and euros and whatever, okay? You have to convert them to a coin equivalent. So if, for instance, we pick GBP, if you look down here, there actually only are 4 things that you can buy with GBP, with British pounds, yeah? Which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance US dollar, and Tether US dollar. Okay, and the reason is because people use the very last one actually is the most used. This is Binance. This is why you've got Binance USD on it. But the one with the T there, which is USDT, is basically this one I've used from day one. Can't really see any reason not to ever use it, because basically every single coin. Let's say every single coin. 90% of coins, and certainly the vast majority on all of the main exchanges will pair with USDT. In other words, you can buy it with USDT. So if, for instance, I actually said Cardano, that's actually wrong. So if, for instance, I had pounds and I wanted to buy Cardano, I can't. Okay, because there is no pair between GBP and ADA, Cardano. There is between BTC, which is Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So you can buy pound Bitcoin, you can buy pound Ethereum, and that's it. Anything else you want to buy, you're going to convert it into USDT, which is the coin that represents the US dollar. So basically this mirrors the US dollar. So you buy in at this level, and then when you want to exit, you exit them back to US dollars. Or actually, you can go. Well, you can see here there's a pairing between US dollars and GBP, so you can go back from US dollar back to GBP again. And the exchange rate that you get is the exact rate all about a thousandth of a percent or whatever, from the actual US dollar. So this USDT tether basically mimics a real dollar, but because of that, because it's a coin, it can be used in all exchanges. All right, so either if you're just coming on to buy Bitcoin, just change GBP to Bitcoin or Ethereum. Anything else you want to buy, you're going to have to go into Tether. Okay, so in this case, we will take it into Tether, which is US dollars. Okay, so after a while, you won't even see the difference between US dollars and T and the Tether. It just is US dollars. And when you go to convert it back, it's an absolute one-on-one ratio back. Okay, and that's without exception. I've never ever come across any problems with taking that back and it not being exactly one for one. Okay, so we would move over into Tether. You would enter. This would then change to say confirm. You would confirm, and then it would gives you a couple of seconds to change your mind, and then it will convert it over for you. Okay, so that's bringing the money in. Okay, which is buy crypto, either bank or a card, trade, either to go into convert if you just want to buy Bitcoin with it, or convert it to US dollars on the Tether, which is this one here, the USDT, and that means you can buy anything you want with it. Okay, so what else do we have here? We've done that. Okay, so I'll look then at the wallet. So when you go into your wallet, then you've got different types of wallet, which is basically where you keep money. It's the same as any other reference to the word, except this is a digital wallet. Okay, so we've used buy crypto, trade, and now wallet. So when we go into fiat and spot, okay, this is where it puts anything that you've just bought. It puts them into your spot account. Okay, so this is also where it keeps fiat currencies. So fiat currencies are traditional currencies, dollar, GBP, euro, whatever. They're all called fiat currencies, and then spot is basically just where you keep your coin has been converted, and it's free liquidity then, so you can just use it straight away. There's nothing to wait for, and it's only on a one-to-one basis as well, so there's no margin on it or no leverage. Okay, so you'll see down here, I do have a couple of things. Normally I shouldn't really have anything in my spot account, but every now and then sometimes things come into it. So and there are some, like Decentraland for instance, so a small amount there, but it only operates in spot. You can't use margin with it because I normally only trade in margin. And then Cardano, for instance, a little bit there, $12 worth. That's just going to be a leftover from a transfer. So every now and then I would just clear these out. And then the only other significant one is Beth, which is a staked Ethereum, which they force you to keep in your spot account. Okay, to earn the interest and things on it. So that's what it is. So there's our dollar tether. Okay, and that's now going to be our trading. Okay. So again, if you look along the side of it, you've got buy, you've got deposit, you've got withdraw, you've got trade, you've got earn, and you've got convert. Okay, you'll be using all of those at one stage, but again, if you wanted to convert those dollars into Bitcoin, let's say Cardano, we'll use one that there wasn't a grouping for. So now you see when you go into 2, you've got every single thing in the world there, look. Okay, whereas when it was GBP, you only had 4. Now you've got, 4,000. Okay, so you can convert into anything you want. So if we say we want to go into Cardano, ADA. Okay, so you can see there is a small, as we saw, there's a small amount, and you can just convert it straight into whatever currency you want. All of it or some of it, so it says enter the amount. You can just click max and it'll bring it all in, and then you can preview the conversion. So say for instance you wanted to buy $100, you change that to 100, preview conversion, and there you go. Okay, so $1 US equals 0.46 Cardano, and you'll receive 46 Cardanos for your $100. Okay, So you would have 46 ADA. This only runs for a couple of seconds, which it does with most trading packages anyway. And now you'll see already, even within a couple of seconds there, its quote expired. Please request a new quote. So you can refresh. Okay, and now please confirm conversion. Convert 1 second, 0 seconds, boom, it's gone again. Okay, so you have to be fairly quick with this. You have to know exactly what you want, but you just press refresh if you miss it. Okay, so that's how to convert on a very, very simple level, bringing in pounds, converting your pounds to US dollar tether, and then buying Cardano with US dollar. Okay, and that's it. So we didn't do that one there actually, but obviously if you go back into Fiat and Spot. Okay, so this is where it puts everything. So everything you buy or move around, unless you're in margin or leveraging it, it ends up here in Spot. Okay, so it's your place where everything goes. So if we had bought it there, it would have been in here now in Cardano. Okay, so right, does that make enough sense? So when I go back over everything again and again, you can always watch it again. So the other way of trading, okay, which is the way I would do it. So rather than using convert, I go into classic. Now, as you've seen, you do not need to. Okay, you could just go in, change your pounds to US dollars, and then with US dollars tether, buy the share that you want, and that's it. And it'll be sitting here for you, all done. And you can have a look, and you can see exactly what your balance is. You can see what it is in Bitcoin. You can see what it is in dollars as well. And you can see how many shares you've got. How many are available? In other words, you don't have any call against them. You don't have any sort of open orders or anything against them. So they're all fully available. The Bitcoin value and the dollar value, and then all the different things you can do with them: buy, deposit, withdraw, trade, earn, convert. Okay, nice, simple, all together there. And that's where everything would always end up in the spot account. Okay, so if you then want to do more complicated trading, let's just say. You can click then into classic. Okay, there's advanced margin, peer-to-peer, stock token. You can actually you can do margin as well in here as well. But okay, so you'd end up with something like this. Now I have moved mine around a little bit. I have a funny feeling the place order bit in the top right, when you go in the default setting, is down the bottom. But it doesn't really matter. Things might be in a different order, but they're all exactly what's here. Okay, so in the middle you have your chart. I have some different things on my chart, so I have the volume up at the top there, and then I have my RSI here as well. So it's a little bit more complicated, but there is a part here that you can click, and it will just bring up the chart, so that it'll make the chart a full screen. Okay, a lot of these things you really are probably never going to need, and well, not ever need, but certainly you're not going to need when you start off trading. So the order book, okay, so up at the top, this is what is being bought. At the bottom, this is what's being sold. So you can see the difference in prices there. The amount in Bitcoin, because we're actually in the Bitcoin chart at the moment, and then the total in US dollars. No, I think it is US dollars, yeah, okay. And then the trades as they are happening here. Okay, all very interesting stuff. I mean, this you can kind of see everything's happening, and what's being bought, what's being sold, and what's waiting to be bought and what's waiting to be sold. Okay, and then your place order section. Now, I do think I have maybe changed this, or there's different versions, because I've seen a version recently with this place order that buy and sell exist separately. Mine is just you click buy and it's buy, click sell and it's sell. Okay, so what we're going to do here then is we're going to buy a little bit of Bitcoin. Definitely Bitcoin at the moment. Yeah, I'll buy something different. Okay, so in terms of all your pairs, again, things might be slightly different on the screen on the version of the one that you use, but here somewhere you will see then the pairs. So this pair is BTC USDT. Okay, it's Bitcoin against the US dollar. The Tether account. Okay, so anything you want to search, you can do it here. So if you wanted, say, to do Cardano, ADA, you would look for Cardano USDT, which is this one, and then click it. Okay, so you'll get used to that because you'll be using this day in, day out. I mean, this is just how you pull up a particular pair. Okay, just by typing it into there and then finding the pair that's relevant to you. Okay, so where it says beside it 10x or 5x, whatever else, or whatever else, this is a section called isolated margin, which you won't need for right now. Okay. It's very dangerous, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about what that means. You'll just see a 10x beside it, but at the end, as long as you're in spot, which is here, then you won't come across it anyway. Okay, so we're going to buy. So when you buy something, okay, it gives you a choice here: limit, market, and stop limit. So I'll go through the stop limit in a minute. I tend to just buy it as normal and then put stop limit in for sale. So I'll do it the way I do it. Okay, so limit, what limit means is that you choose a price that you want to buy at. So the price at the moment, for instance, with Cardano is 2.1487, yeah? So you could say to yourself, I think that's going to drop down to 2. You know, like you can see there, it's wicked down to about 2.02, 2.03 a couple of times, and to be honest, in that sort of pattern, that looks like it would probably have another go at that. So the reason I would say that is that rather than having to pay 2.15 basically for it, I reckon you could probably buy that at 2.05. Yeah. So it doesn't sound an awful lot, but you know that's what trading's about. So rather than going in at market price, I would go in at 2.05. Yeah, and I reckon I will get filled in that pretty quick. So this will be the limit. So I say instead of buying it at market price, I want to buy it at limit price. So I put it in at 2.05, the amount that I want, the total, and then buy. Okay. So because I want to sell what I'll do at the moment, so that's the limit. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. So rather than buying at the market price, you're setting a price that you're prepared to buy at. And that order will sit there until the 2.05 is reached. Okay, if it's not, then you do not own those. If the market goes up and it goes up to 2.6, you're left with an order down here, which you end up just cancelling because you know it's not going to get filled. Okay, so on limit, the fees you pay, yes, just very, very quickly with fees, because they do change quite a lot, and it's probably something that needs a bit more attention. But the fees, I think they're roughly about 0.1%. Now, depending on how much you've got, for instance, that can go down to 0.05%. So you can have a look up in your own account and you'll see what the commissions are. So they're very, 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 very small, especially compared to traditional trading. So they're 0.1%. Okay. So, but if you have so much, there's different ways to get it down. You can have so much Binance coin, but it's ridiculous. It's like something like 600 or something. Binance coin was like, whatever, 36 grand or something. It might even be more. I think it might be 1,000 Binance coins, or trade more than 50 Bitcoin in a month or something. So they're basically for very big players, not just for anybody else, mere mortals. So we don't get those big discounts. But say you can get 20% off by using the referral program. And market then, in theory, with limit, you should get lower rates, but I've certainly seen with mine, I don't see them being any lower, and I'll just explain the reason why. When you're using limit, okay, you're basically providing liquidity to the exchange, because you're saying you want to buy at 2.05, yeah. So it effectively takes that out of your money. It doesn't quite. It shows it as being not available. So if I wanted to put, say, about $100 at 2.05, that would actually reduce our available balance by $100. And what that's effectively doing is, until you've bought that, well, where is that $100? And maybe you don't buy it, maybe you cancel it, or maybe you do buy it, but it doesn't kick in until tomorrow. So basically, you're creating liquidity for the exchange. So really, you should, that should be lower. I guess it's the taker and the maker. I can't remember which one. I think the taker one is the limit. So they should be sort of slightly different. But anyway, in market then, whenever you click market, okay, the price then is the market price, whatever it happens to be at the point that you push that button. Okay, so again, most of the time I would use market. You know, I do like playing around sometimes with limit. It's one of those things, if I'm not in a rush to buy something, you know, I'll set a limit and maybe leave it for a couple of hours, and if it fills it, it fills, and if it doesn't, I'll just cancel it and buy in at market or something. So, but sometimes I've got some really good bargains by doing that. But of course, the irony is that, you know, you're buying a stock that's reducing, because the only way you can get it cheaper is if the stock goes down. So you've also got to think to yourself, well, I'm sort of betting against myself almost. But I have had some really, really good buys. Most recently, actually, on Ethereum, where I had buy orders right the way down at 1950, 2000, 2050 and 21. And Ethereum was, gosh, certainly over 3,000 at that point. And just out of nowhere, it wicked down and initiated all those buy orders. And it happened actually in the middle of the night. It happened on a Saturday night, Sunday morning. When I woke up on Sunday morning, I'd bought 7 Ethereum for an average of just over 2,000, and they were already trading for nearly 3,000. So that's sort of a $6,000, $7,000 profit for doing nothing, just having buy orders in place. Okay, so market, you choose the market price, you say what you want to buy. Let's buy something that I don't have in my spot. What about Avalanche? What's that doing at the moment? Oh, I've actually got some in spot, haven't I? Okay. Let's see what DOT's doing at the moment. I used to have a lot of DOT, which is Polkadot. The last batch I bought at 31, and I had a sell order at 49. And I don't know, you can just see there, look, somewhere it just went right out at 49. And I only bought it at 31. So I bought it, maybe back here at 31, maybe down here actually at 31, yeah. And it just went boom, straight up to 49. So because I had my profit set at 49, that was it. It took me out of it. So you can see I don't have any DOT at the moment. But I don't mind, because you know, I made a very good profit very, very quickly. And almost on hitting 49, it's already fallen right down to about 35, 36 again. So that was luck more than judgment, by the way. Okay, so 39, I'll buy a little bit of DOT. Let's go to the down, I can see it. Okay. All right, so I'm only buying $50. So okay, so I'm going to buy $50. So put in there a total 50 at market price. Buy DOT. Okay. So push the buttons, and there we go. Market order filled, and I've just bought 1.25 DOT. Okay, so you can see there in your assets now that I've now only got 69 US dollars, but I've now got 1.25 DOT. Okay, so now then, if I go back into my wallet and into Fiat and Spot, you see this is where all my balances are all kept. Okay, now there you go, DOT. You see 1.255 DOT at a value of $50.09. I've just made 9 cents. Excuse me. And my Tether now, my US dollar account, has now gone from 119 down to 69. Okay, so that's those two together. So that's how to use your Tether then to buy your DOT. Okay, so we'll run back over here to the exchange, to Classic. Excuse me. And we'll change it back to DOT again. Of which DOT USDT. Okay, So if I was to sell it now, if you click the sell button, and say just because I think in the other version buy and sell are two separate boxes, but it doesn't matter as soon as you click buy or sell. Okay, so there's your taker and maker there as well. Sorry, yeah, 0.075. Oh, that's good actually. Don't know why that's changed. It used to be you can see there's 0.1. It's now to 0.075. Oh yes. Sorry, that was another thing I meant to say to you actually. The reason is is that I've got some Binance, and it'll use Binance to pay the fees, and you get a discount from 0.1 to 0.075 just by having some Binance, which means it can use Binance then to pay the fees. So it's just promoting its own currency basically. So that's another really good tip. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. Okay, so now I want to sell. Okay, so there's two ways we can do this. Okay, you can just sell at market price. Okay, or you can sell at limit price. So I'm going to show you what I use all of the time, which is this OCO. So when you click on stop limit, you'll see an OCO coming up. Okay, so OCO stands for one cancels other. So what this means you can do is you can set a top and a bottom to sell. Okay, so in this case, for instance, the top one here, which is the price, is your high amount. So I would say again, if I get to 49 again, I would want to sell. So my price, I'm going to sell at 49. I then want to stop it if it went below, say, 34, 35. I don't want it anymore. I want to get out of the trade. Okay? So I'll say I'll stop at 35 and sell at a limit of 35. The amount, you can just increase it all up, so 1.25, and sell. Okay, so I'm selling two different things now. I'm selling my top price at 49, in other words, if it hits 49, and then I'm hitting a limit down as well of 35, and selling at 35 if it drops down to 35. OCO, one cancels other, in other words, whenever one's hit, it cancels the whole contract. Yeah, so if it down hits 35, it doesn't keep the one at 49, it wipes it all out. So if I click on there on just sell dot, you'll see now on the chart, there's now a 35 with a red line all the way across, and there's now 49 up at the top with a red line, and you'll see stop loss 35, trigger less than 35, in other words it'll sell at 35 if the price drops below 35, and then limit maker 49, which is the top price I'm going to sell for. Okay, so therefore when you put that trade in, you can almost walk away and leave that now, okay, because you've limited your losses to 35. So if it starts to fall down again, like it did here, right down to 33, bang, once it gets to 35, it sells your dots, your polka dots, and that's you out of it, and you've only lost $4. And then, but if it goes all the way up to 49, okay, then you're going to take that profit. You're going to sell it at 49. You're not going to leave it. Okay, so we will do an awful lot more on this, and this is just showing you how to do it. Okay, in terms of the mechanics of how to do it. If we were doing this in a real position, we'd be looking at short wording, is it? Long position. Okay, and we'll be looking at very specific things here. Okay, so this is a technique which again I'll show you another time. It's not for today, but so I'm showing you the mechanics of it. What we'll do next time is we'll show you how to set those levels. Okay, there's about 3 or 4 different ways that I use to set stop levels, and also this then by dragging this little thing in here, it allows you to see. So your downside is 12%, upside is 22%. I always like to see that double, which it probably would be double if you brought that up to the line there. Okay, so in other words, if it goes wrong, you can lose 12%. If it goes right, you can make 24%. So you always want to be on the higher on the upside. Okay, so we'll pop that out for a second. So you probably won't be using this stop losses and take profits, but I just wanted to show you how to do it, because I think when you get into a trade, certainly I think when you get into a trade, unless it's an investment, which I'll show you shortly how I do this completely different, but this is just how to get in and trade, buy and sell. And that's why I've showed you this very quick, and very early, because I think you need to be able to have the opportunity to set stop losses and take profits, but specifically stop losses. When you come into this, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I've had my fingers burnt so many times by, at the very early stages of buying something, not putting stop losses in, not putting take profits in, and suddenly either it runs up and then comes back down again and you missed it, or it drops 20%. And you've lost a lot more than you should. There are a lot of things I don't use stop losses for, and I don't use take profit, which again I will explain exactly those scenarios. But this was just to give you the opportunity of being able to do that. Okay, so very quickly then, that is Binance in terms of how to come in, how to bring money into it, how to trade on a simple trade, just using the convert, and then how to trade using the classic, which is this screen here. Which, please excuse me, it may look slightly different, but don't worry, it's all the same things, they might just be in a different place. Okay, and then you can see your open orders down the bottom here, so sell at 49 or sell at 35. Those are your two options here. So that's how to buy, that's how to sell. If you want to just sell normally, by the way, I'll just do that right now actually. You go into market, click market, and sell them all. Just push that line up, and then sell dot, and it'll just sell them for you. Now, the reason you can see that actually it's 0. The reason is because the order is on, and this is where I was saying to you about you providing liquidity, because this order is on here to sell at these different prices. That's taking those out of your liquid stock. So you see a dot available, 0. Now, if you go into the wallet, you'll still see it there, but it's not available because you have to be using that money to cover these sales here. And what that does as well, then it shows it creates a different type of cost. It should do. It didn't seem to there, but the theory is anyway that if you're providing what they call maker, it should be providing liquidity to the exchange, and therefore it should be a slightly better rate. But it doesn't seem to be. Anyway, there's maybe a reason for that, which I don't know. Okay, so. I'm just going to very, very quickly, we've only a few minutes left, so I'm going to very, very quickly just show you a few other things in Binance. Not that you're going to need them straight away. This is all, get on, set the account up, do a quick trade, learn how to buy, learn how to sell it, and understand the proxy US dollar tethers that you're going to need. Okay, so a few other little things that we have then within this, just for the future. You can have Binance Earn, for instance. This is why I like Binance, because not just you can't just buy and sell, but you can also invest. So I'm going to have to go across to a different account here. Just 1 second. Do I have the? Let me just see. Okay, so there's different ways that you can earn off your currencies. So one thing that you need to be, or what I think is very, very important, okay, is to have the complete difference between your trading and your investing, okay. And for me, it's never the twain shall meet, okay. So when you put money away, when you're saving, I try to keep it a third, a third, a third. So I'll have a third in saving, a third that I use on leverage trading, and then a third on non-crypto. Very sort of traditional ETFs and things like that. They keep my sort of portfolio balanced. Okay, so when I save something, in other words, I take it out of my trading account from the previous from that month's profits, I put it into savings, and then there's lots and lots of different ways. So I'm going to just show you a couple of different ways that you can make money from your currency. So obviously it's going up anyway. So this, for instance, if you look, is 0.05 of a Bitcoin. Okay, which has just moved across. It's 1.2%, which is rubbish. Percentage return on it. So that's just in the case, rather than just leaving it around. I mean, I don't want to leave it around in spot because I don't want to use it. This is a different account. I don't want to use it. So I'll put it in here and earn a little bit on it. So also then, let me just have a look and see what other ones I've got. I've got any locked staking in this account. Flexible, locked. Yeah, okay. So here, for instance, you can see that I have 2,000, just over 2,000. I think it must be interest, that one. ADA, which is Cardano, staked, which is locked in at 7.79%. So what I get back at the end of it is so this is it for 60-day staking. I get back the 2020, whatever it is, Cardano, plus the percentage rate, and that's in for 60 days. Okay, so, and you have, that is a very specific, so that exits in the 1st of, or 3rd of July, that one comes out. This one comes out on the 11th of June, for some reason. This one then is auction. So this is something I've never tried before, because you'll see all my staking on this account anyway is all Cardano and some Ethereum. So staking, by the way, is just when you set the money aside and you have no access to it for 60 days. Okay, and particularly with Ethereum now moving from proof of work over to proof of stake, this is basically revenue generating, or it will be revenue generating, whereby it'll be the proof of stake that's rewarded on the network rather than the proof of work. So basically you stake it because you don't have enough to be your own independent staker. So you stake it with Binance or whoever it is. They pay you 7.79%. You lock it in for 60 days, and at the end of it, you get all your currency back, plus your interest on top of that. Now, one thing but I've only ever done this before with things that I'm very familiar with, and I do have quite a lot of other currencies staked at different places. Binance isn't always the best place to do staking, so at the end of the day, I'll go where the best rate is, if it's a secure exchange. Okay, so auction is one that I knew absolutely nothing about, but I decided to take a little bit of a punt on it because it's giving 28.5%. Okay, so not only do you have the appreciation of the actual coin itself, you also have a 28% interest payment, and that's locked in for 60 days. And I'll show you where you're going to get those actually. So we'll see how that one plays out. I'm not really sure. Actually, I'll maybe go over and see how that share is doing at the moment. Okay, so the riskier the coin, the higher the interest rate. So when you get things like Cardano and Ethereum, big name coins, the interest rates are low. But having said, there's still, I mean, what do you get at the bank at the moment? You're lucky to get 0.5%. So there are still good interest rates. So let me just see what this auction one is now. The fear of these ones that aren't auction BUSD doesn't use Tether. Is 45. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, so by using ones that are locked, you get a set amount, you get the shares back, you get the coins back at the end of it, plus an interest percentage. For some of the things like Cardano, because they're a very strong currency, you don't get very much percentage. But sometimes there's weird ones like auction I didn't know that much about actually, but it seemed okay. I spent a day or two looking at the charts, and they're giving 28% at the moment, and that's for locked in for 60 days. So that's pretty major. Okay, so ETH. I think I have an ETH on this account as well. Let me just see. Yeah, I have. Yeah. So this is the one that gives you the BETH. Yes. So you can see that was in the. What do you call it? The spot account. So you get the interest on these actually varies quite a lot depending on how long it goes on. Because I think it says you get up to 20%, but I think you start off, along here on the curve. So we're kind of here at the moment. We're on depending on how much is staked. So we're on 5.7. And as it goes up and up and up and up here, it gets up to about 20-odd%. And that's with 550,000 ETH. So it depends how many of them are staked. Okay, so I have one staked, and my cumulative yield is 0.006 of an Ethereum. So, which says not much. We're already here at the moment, so that's about 5.7%. So again, with staking, now this, for instance, is even more stringent. So the ETH staking is ETH 2.0. Now that could be out this year. In fact, you say there it can actually take more than 2 years. So that's really locking it in, yeah. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, this is all money I've made from trading, and once it goes into this, my savings, my investment, I never touch it again, yeah. So I don't care that it's locked up for 2 years, doesn't matter to me. Some of the other ones are on for 60 days because that's all I could get. You either get 30, 60 or 90 in most of these staking products. I'll just show you these. And most of the 90s go pretty quick, so you're normally left scraping around the 30s and 60s. Locked. Oh no, wrong one. Okay, I'll not go over this now. Okay, so for each one of these, you can stake for either 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Ethereum could be 2 years. I think most people think it's going to be just over a year now. And then also on ones that I can't stake, I'll put them onto just an investment account. It's only 1.2%, but because Bitcoin, you see, you don't get anything else. And I just put it in here to be honest, so I don't get tempted to use it. So I just so these are the ones I have on Binance. I've about just over 2,000 Cardano. I've 1 ETH, I think, just on here on ETH 2.0 staking, and about 2.5 grand of Bitcoin as well, 0.05 of a Bitcoin. Okay, so that just gets it out from my from the margin account. Okay, so let me just see where we are on that. Okay, so I think that will sort of wrap it up for now.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I hope that was useful. I think it was thorough, if nothing else. But just please bear in mind that is not that's not everything about setting your account up. It's just meant to be enough information to allow you to go onto the platform, set it up, buy some currency, trade, and have enough basics to be able to know your way around it, and a little bit about where it could go. So hopefully you like it. I think it's the best platform. It has its weaknesses, which we'll discuss, and I'll also show you at least another couple of platforms as well. Some of which are better for staking. Other ones are better actually for following other investors, which is a thing that I do with traditional markets. But anyway, we're going to another day. Okay, so thank you very much. And if you liked the video, please, and you're watching it on YouTube, obviously, please press like, subscribe, and notifications all. So if you haven't already been over to Patreon, the link will be below. If not, it's just patreon.com/digiport, DIGIPORT. That should take you there. And you'll find lots of other videos that's building up sort of day by day. At the moment, we're starting to migrate things across from our original platform over onto the Patreon platform. So that will get very busy very quickly. With lots and lots of content. Okay, thank you very much again, really appreciate it. And I look forward actually catching up someday with Patreon. We've set up a Discord now, so as new people come into Patreon, or as people start to migrate across to Patreon, which is pretty much up and running live now with the 17th of May, and it's pretty much up and live. I know the Discord is set up, and we're putting the videos and the content up over the next day or two, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, it'll all be up, and really exciting. And of course the exciting bit as well will be to say hi to you, because I'll be spending at least an hour or so in Discord every day, so really look forward to that. Alright guys, thank you very much, take care, speak later, ciao.